Hello everyone and welcome back to Dragon Age Origins. When we left off, we were in the apprentice quarters in the High Tower of the Mages. We've just completed the harrowing and have been directed to go speak to First Enchanter Irving. We're going to do a little bit of recap about what we found in the Fade, and then we will check out the tower a little bit before going to see Irving. Alright, well the first thing that we should probably do is level up. We have some points to spend. We're going to throw a point in the willpower. Let's do one in magic. And let's just go back with magic again for that last point. We have 1 point to spend here, and I'm going to go ahead and get the Winter's Grasp to add to our abilities. And let's look at what we picked up on the Codex when we were in the Fade. We encountered a rage demon. That was the last demon that we fought that looked like he was on fire. Encountered in the Fade, the true form of a rage demon is a frightening sight. A thing of pure fire, its body seemingly made of amorphous lava, and its eyes two pinpricks of baleful light radiating from its core. The abilities of such a demon center on the fire it generates. It burns those who come near, and the most powerful of its kind are able to lash out with bolts of fire and even firestorms that can affect entire areas. Fortunately, even powerful rage demons are less intelligent than most other varieties. Their tactics are simple. Attack an enemy on sight with as much force as possible until it perishes. Some rage demons carry over their heat-based abilities into possessed hosts, but otherwise the true form is mostly seen outside of the Fade when it's specifically summoned by a mage to do its bidding. Okay. Sloth demon. And I looked at the creature and it had become me, a veritable copy of my form, of my very mind, stared back at me as if from within a mirror. I thought surely that this was a trick, an illusion meant to put me off guard, but as I engaged the thing with my sword, it fought me with maneuvers that I recognized. It parried as I parried. It swung as I swung. It spoke to me and said things that only I could know. I think this demon of sloth has no form or identity of its own. It is envy as much as sloth. I believe, and mine was not the first shape it stole that day. The most difficult assumption for someone who studied demons to overcome is the notion that a sloth demon is, in and of itself, slothful. If that were so, it seems highly unlikely that any such demons would cross the veil into our own world, or once here would fight to possess any creature with a will of its own, and we know both these things cannot be the case. Certainly, some demons are lazy and complacent, but who knows? Perhaps these creatures even cultivate such a reputation. The truth is that demons of sloth are named so because this is the portion of the human psyche that they feed upon. Doubt, apathy, entropy, they seek to spread these things. The sloth demon hides in its forms, a master of shapes and disguises, always in the last place you look, and from its hiding place spreads its influence. A community afflicted by a demon of sloth could soon become a dilapidated pit where injustices are allowed to pass without comment, and none of the residents could be aware that such a change has even taken place. The sloth demon wakens, tires, tears at the edges of consciousness, and would much rather tender its victims helpless than engage in a true conflict. Such creatures are best faced only with a great deal of will and only with an eye to piercing their many disguises. I'm not going to read the wisp. They're a pretty small little creature. Wolves, same thing. Religion and magic. The Black City. No traveler to the Fade can fail to spot the Black City. It is one of the few constants of that ever-changing place. No matter where one might be, the city is visible, always far off, for it seems that the only rule of geography in the Fade is that all points are equal distant from the Black City. The chant teaches that the Black City was once the seat of the Maker, from whence he ruled the Fade, left empty when men turned away from him. Dreamers do not go there, nor do spirits. Even the most powerful demons seem to avoid the place. It was golden and beautiful once, so the story goes, until a group of powerful Magister lords from the Teventer Imperium devised a means of breaking in. When they did so, their presence defiled the city, turning it black, which was perhaps the least of their worries. We all know what the harrowing was. We went through that in the Fade. We have, for characters that we've met so far, the Knight Commander Gregor and First Enchanter Irving. And we don't know much about anything more about that. So we're going to look around the tower and see if we can find out any more information about magic and go from there.
Did you hear?
Hear what?
I heard they suspect someone of dabbling in blood magic.
Why would anyone do something so stupid? That's a death sentence.
Because blood magic is powerful? You can bend others to your will and force demons into your service. That's what I hear anyway.
So now we know somebody's been dabbling in blood magic. We'll go around and collect things as we find them. Ice band. We could probably use that. Why, yes we can. What is it though? Cold resistance. Not horrible. I don't think we want to go down there just yet. Let's go around a little bit more. Definitely don't want to run into the first enchanter.
Control the fire with your will. Keep the flames steady. We don't want it sputtering and leaping about. That's what causes most of the injuries.
Injuries? But...
Steady. It reacts to your emotions. If you panic, it will... No. Breathe.
I think that made it worse.
You know, in my experience, flint and tinder works just as well. Maybe we should start with that. I hope you've spoken to the first enchanter. He seems eager to see you.
I bet he is.
Do any of you remember what the Chantry says about magic?
Magic must serve man, and not rule over him.
Very good. And what do you think that means? Can anyone tell me?
Hey!
No, that's not what it means.
It means that magic should be used to help people, but we can't use our magic to to force people to do what we want.
That's right. We should not abuse the gift the Maker has given us.
I heard the Templars talking about chasing down a Malefica yesterday.
The Templars scare me. They always look so mean.
Does your mentor give you lots of homework too?
Alright. Well, we were already in the Fade. Let's take a look at it. The study of the Fade is as old as humankind. For so long as men have dreamed, we have walked its twisting paths, sometimes catching a glimpse of the city at its heart, always as close as our own thoughts, but impossibly separated from our world. The Tevinter Imperium once spent vast fortunes of gold, lyrium, and human slaves in an effort to map the terrain of the Fade, an ultimately futile endeavor. Although portions of it belong to powerful spirits, all of the Fade is in constant flux. The Imperium succeeded in finding the disparate and ever-shifting realms of a dozen demon lords, as well as cataloging a few hundred types of spirits before they were forced to abandon the project. The relationship of dreamers to the Fade is complex. Even when entering the Fade through the use of lyrium, mortals are not able to control or affect it. The spirits who dwell there, however, can, and as the Chantry teaches us, the great flaw of the spirits is that they have neither imagination nor ambition. They create what they see through their sleeping visitors, building elaborate copies of our cities, people, and events, which, like the reflections in a mirror, ultimately lack context or life of their own. Even the most powerful demons merely plagiarize the worst thoughts and fears of mortals and build their realms with no other ambition than to taste life. Okay.
Concentrate. Hold the shield. If I had put all my power behind that spell, you would have been obliterated. I am not your enemy. Fear is your enemy. It is a weakness that can be exploited. Should you face a demon with your will wavering, sir?
No?
Then stand firm and know you can resist whatever I throw at you. Again.
I heard Humbert volunteered to take the Rite of Tranquility. How awful!
Guess we gotta talk to them. Another book. Mana and the Use of Magic. Mana is that which defines a mage. It is potential that dwells within a person but does not always manifest itself. All men are connected to the Fade. We go there to dream. But only those with this potential may draw upon its power. Mana is, then, a measurement of one's ability to draw power from the Fade, and is this power that is expended in magic. As in all other things, it has limits. Just as a man has the strength to lift only so much weight and no more, a mage cannot work more magic at one time than his mana allows. If he wishes to work magic that would be beyond his strength, a mage must bolster his mana with lyrium. Without lyrium, it is possible for the reckless to expend their own life force in the working of magic, and occasionally ambitious apprentices injure or even kill themselves by overexertion. Yeah, reading these things is not going to go well. Do we want to go up there? Have we explored everything down here? I guess we kind of have. Question is, can we go up there? Now let's meet this guy.
Welcome to the Circle's stockroom of magical items. My name is Owain. How may I assist you?
This is the Tranquil that Joanne told us about. Dwayne. What is his name? Joanne? Dwayne? Whatever. What is the stockroom for?
Stores components used in magical and alchemical experiments. Do you require something?
Are you really a Tranquil Mage?
I voluntarily submitted to the rite of tranquility. I was unwilling to undergo the harrowing. I find this state agreeable.
What is it like not having emotions?
I see the world with clarity. I remember the days when my mind was filled with inconvenient and seething emotions. Now things are simple.
What was becoming tranquil like?
It is difficult to describe. I would perhaps compare it to being plunged into a pool of ice-cold water.
What happened during the Rite of Tranquility?
I was ordered to never speak of it. I cannot go against the Circle's wishes. Very well.
Go.
Goodbye.
Anything to collect?
Good day.
Right, so how many rooms do we have up here to look at? Rite of annulment. I will pause on these long enough if you would like to read them.
Blessed art thou who exists in the sight of the Maker.
I don't think we better disturb her. I think we should probably keep our mouth shut. Wasn't that in the last episode, holding my tongue?
Blessed are the penitents who seek his return. Blessed is the prophetess, purified by flame. May the chant reach the Maker's ears and tell him of our contrition. So let it be. Oh, I didn't see you there.
Yes, you did.
I recite the Maker's blessings every day. It brings me peace in troubled times.
Are you in trouble?
No, not really. It's just... I don't want to bore you with this.
It's all right, really. I want to know.
It gives me hope that one day the Maker will hear us. That maybe I'll be forgiven and my curse will be lifted.
Curse?
Magic. What else?
You don't like having this power?
Magic causes such misery. It's dangerous and vile and wicked. The Chantry must protect the world from us. Being born with something so terrible must be a punishment. I wish I could be rid of it.
You could use your abilities to help people.
That doesn't take magic. If I could, I would dedicate my life to the Chantry, but they would never take me in. Perhaps this is just something I will have to suffer through. I should go. My mentor only allows a few minutes each day for religious contemplation.
Well, all right then. Let's look at the founding of the Chantry. Cornelius Dracon, king of the city-state of Orlais, was a man of uncommon ambition. In the year 15 Ancient, the young king began construction of a great temple dedicated to the Maker, and declared that by its completion he would not only have united the warring city-states of the south, he would have brought Andrastan belief to the world. In, I guess that's -3 Ancient, the temple was completed. There, in its heart, Dracon knelt before the eternal flame of Andraste and was crowned ruler of the empire of Orlais. His first act as emperor, to declare the Chantry as the established Andrastian religion of the empire. It took 3 years and several hundred votes before Olessa of Montesimard was elected to lead the new Chantry. Upon her coronation as divine, she took the name Justinia in honor of the disciple who recorded Andraste's song. In that moment, the ancient era ended and the divine age began. The prophet Andraste, bride of the Maker. There was once a tiny fishing village on the waking sea that was set upon by the Teventer Imperium, which enslaved the villagers to be sold in the markets of Minrathius, leaving behind only the old and the infirm. One of the captives was the child Andraste. She was raised in slavery in a foreign land. She escaped, then made the long and treacherous journey back to her homeland alone. She rose from nothing to be the wife of an Almari warlord. Each day she sang to the gods, asking them to help her people who remained slaves in Teventer. The false gods of the mountains and the winds did not answer her, but the true God did. The Maker spoke. He showed her all the works of his hands, the Fade, the world, and all the creatures therein. He showed her how men had forgotten him, lavishing devotion upon mute idols and demons, and how he had left them to their fate. But her voice had reached him, and so captivated him that he offered her a place at his side, that she might rule all of creation. But Andraste would not forsake her people. She begged the Maker to return, to save his children from the cruelty of the Imperium. Reluctantly, the Maker agreed to give man another chance. Andraste went back to her husband, Mafrith, and told him all that the Maker had revealed to her. Together they rallied the Almari and marched forth against the Mage lords of the Imperium, and the Maker was with them. The Maker's sword was creation itself, fire and flood, famine and earthquake. Everywhere they went, Andraste sang to the people of the Maker, and they heard her. The ranks of Andraste's followers grew until they were a vast tide washing over the Imperium. And when Mafarath saw that the people loved Andraste and not him, a worm grew within his heart, gnawing upon it. At last the armies of Andraste and Mafarath stood before the very gates of Minrathius, but Andraste was not with them. For Mafarath had schemed in secret to hand Andraste over to the Teventer. For this the Archon would give Mafarath all the lands to the south of the waking sea. And so before all the armies of the Almari and of Teventer, Andraste was tied to a stake and burned, while her earthly husband turned his armies aside and did nothing, for his heart had been devoured. But as he watched the pyre, the Archon softened. He took pity on Andraste, and drew his sword, and granted her the mercy of a quick death. The Maker wept for his beloved cursed Mafarath, cursed mankind for their betrayal and turned once again from creation, taking only Andraste with him, and Our Lady sits still at his side, where she still urges him to take pity on his children. Okay. There's going to be a lot of codex in here.
I heard about your harrowing. Congratulations. Andraste must have smiled upon you.
Okay, moving on. Oh, we do not want to go see him yet. And we can't go up there.
Oh, hello. I don't believe we've met. Are you new to the circle?
I'm a newly harrowed mage, but I've lived here all my life.
I'm sorry. There are so many of you, and I get confused. Not to mention, these old eyes are starting to go.
Everyone makes mistakes.
You're too kind. I'm old and about to fall apart. Nothing in the world can fix that.
You should rest more, not be in the library.
But I enjoy the library. These books, they're old friends of mine. And it's quiet. When you're my age, you'll appreciate the quiet. Anyway, did you need something?
No, I just wanted to talk.
I'm not good at talking. Too much chatter makes my head throb. Don't you have lessons to get to? Shoo!
If you say so. Oh my goodness, there's bookcases everywhere. We'll have to read that one. We have the Schools of Magic here. In the hierarchy of the circle.
They say you passed your harrowing. You must be happy.
A section of books that's missing. Curious. Let's look at the 4 schools of magic. We got creation. Opposition in all things, for earth, sky, for winter, summer, for darkness, light. By my will alone is balance, sundered, and the world given new life. The school of creation, sometimes called the school of nature, is the second of the schools of matter, the balancing force and complement of entropy. Creation magic manipulates natural forces, transforming what exists and bringing new things into being. Creation requires considerable finesse, more than any other school, and is therefore rarely mastered. Those mages who have made a serious study of creation are the highest in demand, useful in times of peace as well as war. Primal magic. Those who oppose thee shall know the wrath of heaven. Field and forest shall burn. The seas shall rise and devour them. The wind shall tear their nations from the face of the earth. Lightning shall rain down from the sky. They shall cry out to their false gods and find silence. Sometimes called the school of power, the primal school is the second of the schools of energy, balanced by spirit and concerns the most visible and tangible forces of nature itself. This is the magic of war, fire, ice, and lightning, devastation. This is what the vast majority imagines when they hear the word magic. Didn't we pick up another one? We did. It was the hierarchy of... Hierarchy of the circle. That's the one. It is no simple matter safeguarding ordinary men from mages and mages from themselves. Each circle tower must have some measure of self-government, for it is ever the Maker's will that men be given the power to take responsibility for our own actions, to sin and fail as well as to achieve the highest grace and glory on our own strength. You who will be tasked with the protection of the circle must be aware of its workings. The first enchanter is the heart of any tower. He will determine the course his circle will take. He will choose which apprentices may be tested and made full mages, and you will work most closely with him. Assisting the first enchanter will be the senior enchanters, a small council of the most trusted and experienced magi in the tower. From this group, the next first enchanter is always chosen. Beneath the council are the enchanters. These are the teachers and the mentors of the tower, and you must get to know them in order to keep your finger on the pulse of the circle, for the enchanters will always know what is happening among the children. All those who have passed their harrowing but have not taken apprentices are mages. This is where most trouble in the circle lies, in the idleness and inexperience of youth. The untested apprentices are the most numerous denizens of any tower, but they more often pose threats to themselves due to their lack of training than anyone else. Alright, what else do we have here?
That. Will they? They haven't done anything, and I've heard that the Equitarians are starting to soften a little on the libertarian position.
Sympathy for a position isn't the same as support. Yet. As far as I know, most Equitarians prefer to remain allied with the Loyalists. You can see why, don't you? Just think of what the Chantry would do if suddenly the circles were petitioning for more independence, or even a split.
Won't be pretty.
Ah, the short-sighted libertarians. They'll get their way and take us all down with them.
Another school of magic.
I think someone's here to speak to you, Senior Torren.
Hello. Congratulations on your harrowing last night. Good work.
Why, thank you. Tell me about the fraternities.
They're found in all circles throughout Phaedas. Groups of enchanters who hold similar viewpoints, who band together to make their voices heard. The most influential fraternity are the Equitarians. They are moderates and believe in a code of conduct that all mages should adhere to. Then there are the Chantry apologists, the Loyalists. The Chantry says something and they follow it to the letter. The Lucrosians just want to make money, and the Isolationists would like us all to be hermits and live on an island. Then, of course, there are the Libertarians. They want more power for the Circle, more autonomy.
Isn't that a good thing?
And that's what they would say. Mages have enough opposition from the outside without tearing our circles apart with infighting. But what can you do?
Giving up doesn't help anyone.
An idealist, I see. Well, if you're going to change the world, you should get started immediately. Lots of world to cover.
Don't mind if I do.
Hello, were you looking for something?
What were you talking to that other mage about?
Oh, the fraternities. Groups of mages with a common agenda. I think we should all be isolationists. Stay in some remote mountain town far away from the mundanes who hate us.
Why don't you go off then?
I'd go hide alone in the wilds if I could. But you know they just brand me an apostate and hunt me down. There is no leaving the circle. It's till death do us part. Romantic, isn't it?
Apostate?
If you leave the circle, you become an apostate. And the punishment for leaving is death. Pretty grim, huh?
There must be mages who aren't part of a circle.
I've heard of hedge witches who've managed to survive on their own, eluding the circle for a lifetime. But if the Templars discover them, well, you know what happens. Then there are stories about the Dalish elf clans having great magic. But who knows what's truth and what's fiction when it comes to the Dalish?
Who are you?
I'm Njal, a mage just like you. I've seen you around, haven't I? I must have.
Tell me about apostates again.
If you leave the circle, you become an apostate. And the punishment for leaving is death. Pretty grim, huh?
He already told us that. Why would anyone leave the circle?
The grass is always greener on the other side, isn't it? It's better to never be brought to the circle than to try to escape it. I wouldn't risk it, though. I've heard of hedge witches who've managed to survive on their own, eluding the circle for a lifetime. But if the Templars discover them, well, you know what happens. Then there are stories about the Dalish elf clans having great magic. But who knows what's truth and what's fiction when it comes to the Dalish?
I should get going.
All right. Have a good day.
You do. Alright, looks like we picked up the other magic one. Let's take a look at those. Entropy and spirit are the ones that we need to look at, right? To you, my second born, I grant this gift. In your heart shall burn an unquenchable flame, all-consuming and never satisfied. The second of the two schools of matter, entropy, is the opposing force of creation. For this reason, it is often called the school of negation. Nothing lives without death. Time inevitably brings an end to all things in the material world, and yet in this ending is the seed of a beginning. A river may flood its banks, causing havoc, but bring new life to its floodplain. The fire that burns a forest ushers in new growth, and so it is with entropic magic that we manipulate the forces of erosion, decay, and destruction to create anew. And the last one, spirit. And the voice of the Maker shook the Fade, saying, In my image I have wrought my firstborn. You have been given dominion over all that exists. By your will all things are done, yet you do nothing. The realm I have given you is formless, ever-changing. The first of the two schools of energy, spirit, is opposed by the primal school. It is the school of mystery, the Ephemeral School. This is the study of the invisible energies which surround us at all times, yet are outside of nature. It is from the Fade itself that this magic draws its power. Students of the school cover everything from direct manipulation of mana and spell energies to the study and summoning of spirits themselves. By its nature, an esoteric school, as most others know virtually nothing about the Fade, studies of spirit magic are often misunderstood by the general populace or even confused for blood magic, an unfortunate fate for a most useful branch of study. So evidently the enchanters have fraternities. The loyalists, the libertarians, the equitarians, the isolationists. Okay. I picked up a lot of information there. I don't think we missed anything over here. We're not finding a whole lot here. A few little trinkets here and there.
Ah, there you are. You are to be moved out of the apprentices' dormitory, and these are to be your new quarters. The Tranquil will move your belongings this afternoon. Go on, make yourself comfortable.
Okay. How is this one any different from the one that I have? They're very close, except one has +1 magic and the other has +2 spell power. Both about the same, though.
Everyone's so happy for you.
So this is just the Mage's quarters. Nothing really to see here. Colin.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
I'm glad to see your harrowing went smoothly.
Thank you. Hello.
They picked me as the Templar to strike the killing blow if you became an abomination. It's nothing personal, I swear. I'm just glad you're all right, you know?
Would you really have struck me down?
I would have felt terrible about it. But I serve the Chantry and the Maker, and I will do as I am commanded.
Oh wow, she has an option to flirt with him. Interesting. I shouldn't distract you from your duties.
Oh, you're not distracting? I mean, you are, but, well, you're not.
He's flirting with me.
You can talk to me anytime if you want. Yes. Maybe we can talk another time.
Well, hello Hello there, Colin. Did not know you could even flirt with him. Alrighty. Private documents. What are those about? Well, where are they? Inspect them. List of household accounts and expenditures over time, useful for merchants negotiating contracts and wages. Contracts and wages. Okay. Another book. Ugh. Cardinal Rules of Magic.
You look well. That's wonderful. I was thrown up for a full week after my harrowing. It's delirium that does that, I think.
Okay. Didn't bother me. Is that all we picked up? Let's see. Cardinal Rules of Magic, wasn't it? You must not be under the misimpression that magic is all powerful. There are limits, and not even the greatest mages may overcome them. No one, for instance, has found any means of traveling, either over great distance or small ones, beyond putting one foot in front of the other. That's unfortunate. The immutable nature of the physical world prevents this, so no, you may not simply pop over to Minrathus to borrow a cup of sugar, nor may you magic the essay you forgot in the apprentice dormitory to your desk. It will simply have to be prepared. You will simply have to be prepared. Sorry. Similarly, even when you spend your mind or send your mind into the fade, I can't read today. Wow. Your body remains behind. Only once has this barrier been overcome, and reputedly the spell required 2/3 of the lyrium in the Teventer Imperium, as well as the lifeblood of several hundred slaves. The results were utterly disastrous. Well, I bet so. Finally, life is finite. A truly great healer may bring someone back from the very precipices of death when breath and heartbeat have ceased, but the spirit still clings to life. But once the spirit has fled the body, it cannot be recalled. This is no failing of your skills or power. It is simple reality. Okay. Once they're dead, they're dead. Got it. What is a frost rock? These shards of lifestone are infused with magic, either naturally or by one of the tranquil. Frost rocks radiate cold and can be used in many ice-related potions and traps. Okay. Elfroot, the common name for Canaveras. This herb actually has little to do with elves other than being commonly collected and traded to outsiders by the deluge. It is the primary ingredient in many healing salves. Okay. Deep mushroom. Fungi found underground in close proximity to lyrium veins. In addition to their restorative properties, they can also be made into poisons. Okay. We'll take them all.
Ah, it's great to see you. It's always sad when an apprentice fails the harrowing.
There's a lot of stuff here in the tower. The Maleficarum.
Ah, this is infuriating. Another batch destroyed. Say, have you seen Owain? Is he in the stockroom?
Yeah, I just spoke to him.
Oh, excellent. He wasn't there last I looked. I hope he still has some cinnabar lying around. When I asked last week, he said he was running out.
That's nice.
You're not going to keep the first enchanter waiting, are you?
Yes, actually, I am. Need to have a look about. And we were already here, I think. Yep, I think we made the loop. Now the question is, should we go downstairs? Let's try it. I want to make sure that we pick up everything before we move on. And there's a basement around here somewhere. This place, I get lost in this place. This is crazy big. There it is. I don't know if we're supposed to be going down here yet, but... Aha. Locked door. We're not supposed to be down here yet. Okay. Looks like we've picked up almost everything. Yes. I hope. Go back upstairs and see the enchanter before he has a heart attack. Sends out a search party for me. Nothing else around here. What in the world? Go behind the bookcase. Okay, which direction was he? I'm gonna make myself dizzy running around here. There he is. Can we get this other stuff?
Many have
Nope.
already gone to Ostagar.
It's gonna trigger it.
Wynne, Aldred, and most of the senior mages. We've committed enough of our own to this war effort.
Your own? Since when have you felt such kinship with the mages, Gregor? Or are you afraid to let the mages out from under Chantry supervision, where they can actually use their maker-given powers?
How dare you suggest?
Gentlemen, please. Irving, someone is here to see you.
You sent for me?
Ah, if it isn't our new sister in the circle. Come, child.
This is...
Yes, this is she.
Well, Irving, you're obviously busy. We will discuss this later.
Of course. Well, then, where was I? Oh, yes, this is Duncan of the Grey Wardens.
Hello, Duncan. Pleased to meet you.
You've heard about the war brewing to the south, I expect. Duncan is recruiting mages to join the king's army at Ostagar.
Who are we fighting?
The Darkspawn threat grows in the south. We need all the help we can get.
What are Darkspawn?
They are twisted monsters that dwell underground where the sun's light cannot touch them. They have formed into a horde in the Korcari Wilds and threaten to invade north into the valley. I fear if we don't drive them back, we may see another blight.
Duncan, you worry the poor girl with talk of blights and darkspawn. This is a happy day for her.
We live in troubled times, my friend.
We should seize moments of levity, especially in troubled times. The harrowing is behind you. Your phylactery was sent to Denerim. You are officially a mage within the circle of Magi.
My phylactery?
You may not remember, but blood was taken from you when you first came to us. This blood is preserved within a phylactery.
So they can be hunted if they turn apostate.
We have few choices. The gift of magic is looked upon with suspicion and fear. We must prove we are strong enough to handle our power responsibly. You have done this. I present you with your robes, your staff, and a ring bearing the Circle's insignia. Wear them proudly, for you have earned them.
Sweet. New stuff. Let's see. That's all I get. Just a simple thank you.
It goes without saying that you shall not discuss the harrowing with those who have not undergone the rite. Now then, take your time to rest, or study in the library. The day is yours.
Can I leave the tower?
Not yet. Remember, the tower's walls protect us as much as they protect others from us.
I will return to my quarters.
Would you be so kind as to escort Duncan back to his room, child?
Does Duncan not know where his quarters are? Okay. I'll be nice. It would be my pleasure.
The guest quarters are on the east side of this floor, close to the library. Now, if you'll both excuse me, I have matters to discuss with Gregor.
Yeah, he's a bit of a jerk. Have fun with that. I'm gonna grab these couple of things, and then we are probably going to stop here for this episode, and I will be escorting him back to the quarters at the beginning of the next. So thank you for watching. Apologize for my poor reading renditions for the books that we found, and hopefully you were able to suffer through that, and we'll see you in the next episode. Thanks.